We are 10 races deep into this season of the Integrity Ignite Series, and the fuse has been lit for the Clash, the 16-driver playoff event, which will begin at the checkered flag and the conclusion of tonight's race in Iowa. And it's a fitting title. This is the Ignite the Excitement 150 live on FTN. As we get things started, Nick Tarba currently has provisional pole position. It's going to be Anthony Navarro, 26 thousandths out in the 27 machine, in second for now, as qualifying still rolls on, and 21 of the 27 registered drivers at the moment have taken their times. Forrest Smith going to be on his way right now. His outlap has been, of course, not completed, but he's going to be out onto the pit exit down the back straightaway where it says iowaspeedway.com, looking to get himself connected to the circuit as he goes around through 3 and 4. I'll be your host for tonight's broadcast. I am David Kreutz, and I hope you enjoy tonight's production as we kick things off in style in this Midwestern circuit. Everyone's excited for this one, and the best of the best come to battle with the rest for one final opportunity at a championship. Now, as we know, a few things going into this championship. It will be 16 drivers in the first round of this Clash. Then it'll be 8, and then it will be the final 4, similar in the most part to NASCAR's current procedure. Going to be a little different, however, and it's going to be exciting nonetheless. In addition, Next Level Racing providing a, of course, prize for the championship winner. It's going to be a sim rig worth $2,000, of course, on their store, nextlevelracing.com. I'm certain that you can't find it, as right now you can find most drivers are on pit road. Forrest Smith going out for his second out lap, so once again, trying to do things right in that number 84 machine, as he seems to have a few more laps still in him. Took one lap that went down for new tires, takes the expertise with them. They should be able to put down a faster lap this time by your top 3 in qualifying. As it stands, Nick Tarbuck, Anthony Navarro, and then Alec Daffin. Daffin's going to be in third, and it's going to be Alan Dobbs right behind him in fourth. So everyone getting on their way. Braxton Lewis, one of the bubble drivers to keep an eye out for. He's 23rd on the board as it stands, and the first time we've seen him without the Jeff Schmidt number 15. It looks like this time by a much different look for the number 15, as striking as ever, and we'll see if he can keep himself ahead of that bubble exiting tonight's event. Keep an eye out for him. Keep an eye out for drivers such as Boomer Logan in that 94. They are on pit road now. Only 3 drivers have yet to take a time in qualifying. Cody Griffin going to be on his way here and now. Brad Patton has not gone, but you can see Kyle Cooper has already gotten through his outlap. This will be his first time as he comes down in line, this time by the 73, taps the wall. It's going to invalidate this lap, but he still has one more in the tank at the minimum. And you can see rounding each and every turn, the 73 machine going to take that middle groove, and it's going to be a day to night transition race. You can see the sun is setting already, and with that being said, multiple grooves will form and multiple drivers rise to the top of the standings. As that time by, it's going to be a bit of a drift for the 73, but it won't be any incident. Look at that. Now Cooper goes into 22nd, and it looks like it'll be unrivaled cinematography for the 15, and Braxton Weiss, thank you, Chris, for stopping by, letting me know that. Great to see, and it's an unrivaled paint scheme on his end. Yet another great look for the number 15, as it's going to be Cody Griffin now on his way in the blue and metallic gray. Number 3, Toyota Supra. He takes it all the way up to 13th on his first lap. Let's ride on board and see what he's got this time by. As Griffin takes it up high, this time through down the backstretch, the sun, it is shining over every driver right now. Every driver has an identical version of the circuit to begin their qualifying run, and then they use it to, of course, their fullest extent. Cody Griffin this time by takes his number 3 to the fullest extent, 11th, just a spot outside the first 5 rows, and he'll be lining up there if, of course, Brad Patton does not shock the remainder of these drivers and get back out on the track. As it stands, only a few drivers taking extra laps. Trevor Drago, one of which it's going to be Gael Brooks there, who almost loses it, but he's going to keep it going, who is going to be, of course, on the circuit as well. He'll be 10th on the board, as a matter of fact, with Chad Cole returning in 9th, and then it looks like a debutant in the 54 machine in Chris Gibeau. It's going to be the number 54, a similar paint scheme to what we've seen before in the NASCAR Cup Series and Xfinity Series. This time by the 54 Hendrick Cars machine takes his Hendrick car into position number 17. Trevor Drago on the apron, gonna park it that time by, and it looks like with that being said, only one driver is still on the track. It's gonna be Gael Brooks in the bent up Ford EcoBoost number 71. Now it's gonna be that Ford Mustang making its way onto pit road as he goes up high that time by through turn 3. He'll be able to make it in by the end of 4, and he's going to hit the pit barrier as soon as he does just that. But that being said, it looks like qualifying is all but over. Only one driver has not taken a lap so far. So with that being said, we're going to bring up your starting grid for tonight's event just a bit earlier than usual. And it looks like Iowa Speedway right now, it is entirely empty. No driver on this circuit for now. It's going to be 150 miles, 150 laps here in the Ignite the Excitement 150. It all lines up for this 1 mile circuit, and akin to the intermediate tracks in its D-shaped oval shape and not its size. As we get this thing going, it might be not the biggest of tracks, but the biggest of magnitudes as we get to set our field for the clash in the round of 16. So let's get right into it. Without further ado, this is your starting grid for tonight's event, and it's going to be led off by the man in that number 29. Nick Tarbuck takes pole position, and it's going to be with a 23.649 for his number 29 Chevy Camaro. Then it's going to be Anthony DeBarro with a 23.675. The number 27 machine going to be able to get his second front row start of the season. First one came at Las Vegas. It's going to be Matthew Thunder's multi-time winner locked into the clash as it stands. 23.69 for him, and it's going to be a nice run indeed as Alec Daffin now drops down into 4th, 23.7 for him. Alan Dom's going to be position number 5 in the 05, 23.702 with Cody Smith in 6th, 23.713 on his end. Going to be Rob Ackley right there behind him, 1,000th off with a 23.714 in 7th. A great run to start his night, and Brian McFerrin in the 7 lines up right beside 7th position in 8th, 23.717 for the man in that number, of course, 8th position. Chad Cole going to be 9th in the 17, 23.751 for him, and Gael Brooks going to be there in 10th. 71 machine has it with that Ford Mustang, 23.754. Just outside the top 10 is going to be Cody Griffin in 11th with 23.783, and Don Stevenson in 12th. In that top dozen outside row number 6, 23.79 flat on his end. Then it's going to be Jacob Fife in 13th, 23.8. Trevor Drago 14th with a 23.832, and then DJ Stagner with a 23.839 is in position number 15. Joe Dinsmore going to be on the playoff bubble. He's exactly 16th on the board so far. The 23.854 on his end puts him in 16th in tonight's starting grid as well. Chris Goubeau going to be there in 17th. It's going to be Travis McQuistion in 18th, Braxton Luis in 19th, and then Brandon Wencher, the number 88 machine, will be there to round out your top 20. From there on out, it goes as follows. Boomer Lowe going to be there with a 23.871 in that number 94. Thomas Bresci, a 23.877 in the number 22nd spot, and it's going to be spot number 23 for Kyle Cooper inside row number 12, 23.88 for him, and Forrest Smith has 23.888 in 24th. Brandon Bernhardt will be 25th, 23.996. Cal Filarski is going to be 26th, 23.997. Jonathan Girvan, 24.334 in position number 27. And the final man on the board, we Brad Patton in 28th, and that will be your starting grid for tonight's showdown, the Ignite the Excitement 150. As everything gets lit up, the track is still empty as qualifying is due to end here and now. And as you can see, the track has been regenerated, and that means that warm-up will start right now. So a few extra laps for everyone to get rolling, and it's going to be, of course, the track that is not populated right now, getting a few more drivers on pit road. We can see a few minuscule cars in this frame already going on their way. It's going to be a final 5 minutes of preparation before the race gets on the move. It's going to be Don Stevenson, the first man out. As we get a frame on Don Stevenson, now going to be back on pit road. Gael Brooks goes, so does Chris Goubeau in that number 54, and manufactured parity as always on display. And it's going to be X Line Killer. Thank you for stopping by as we are back for our 1 week hiatus in this series, but not in the league entirely. If you want more Integrity action, the Integrity Octane series on Tuesday nights is ever going, and it went last time, of course, last week on Tuesday night, a great show at Chicagoland, and we look to go, of course, once again this week, and it's going to be Bristol Dirt, a great show to behold, and we hope they have you all there as well. Brad Patton now on his way. The only man with a qualifying lap so far is now back on the circuit to get some more expertise. Looking to make a clean run of it tonight, not looking to get himself banged up early. His expertise will come later in the night. Brad Patton has had a lot of great runs so far, but tonight he might need one more than ever. The playoff bubble, it is furious, and if he wants any chance to make it happen, he's only 14 points up on the cutoff. He'll have to run a flawless night. Coming from the back of the field, it's going to be no surprise that it's going to be a challenge for a driver, but Brad Patton might be one of the best to get it done. Chris Goubeau going to be top of the board here in warm-up with a 24.064. Then Travis McQuistion takes it. He'll be top man for now in the Ford EcoBoost number 93. It's going to be a 23.991 as Chad Cole usurps him that time by, and it's going to be Ford on Ford battling for the top 2 spots here in warm-up. Now, these times don't mean all too much most often. We say that because a lot of drivers choose to dial in their setups outside of the driving. Could be the brake bias, the steering ratio, something going on with their audio, with their hardware, with their simulation rigs, whether they're using a rig or if they're using a normal desk like a lot of other people do. Of course, everyone here is on a steering wheel, so it's not going to be a question whether or not they're using a controller, but all these minute adjustments are being made the last second. If these guys find something they don't like or something they could do better. Bernhardt at that time by puts down his second lap. It's going to be able to put him into 5th here on the board. And while these laps are getting ran down, more and more drivers are going to populate your screen. The sun is all but set at this point. As you can see, it only shines on the front stretch. Now we go to the back stretch where Brendan Wenger, the fastest man so far, is. And it is all shady here. And it's only going to get darker until the artificial lighting comes up on this circuit, and we anticipate to see it any moment now as the number 88 Real Tree Machine keeps it real, and he was top man for a while there. Now it's going to be Bernhardt back to the point. He has a 23.771 top man here in a warm-up with less than 2 minutes remaining in time. It is running out for an awful lot of these drivers. We will see whether or not it runs out too soon for another to put down a fast lap. Right now, an awful lot of guys have put down laps. More than 11 have put times down. 11 have got registered times, but a few laps have not been counted yet. And we'll see who gets counted next. It'll be Boomer Logan now. He'll be in position number 6 on the board as warm-up now has a minute and 26 remaining. Now, tire strategy is, of course, to be a given in this league. No fast repairs, no immediate opportunity to get it back rolling, and I do believe that tonight does have a tire set limit once again. With a minute remaining on the board here, these guys might have to calculate their long runs as well as their short. Being a hot lap hero is great to get some early points. Pole position, leading a lap, maybe even leading the most laps. So if you want to be there at the checkered flag, you have to anticipate that these tires will degrade, even if the night sky means it will be a bit of a cooler track surface compared to, of course, if it were an all-day race. Now, tire strategy, fuel strategy, one final piece of the puzzle that we haven't mentioned in quite a while. These guys have been away from this league for more than a week. For the first time since Daytona, we've had a break, and it means that these guys will have to readjust to how these Xfinity machines drive. A lot of the drivers in this league happen to run in both series, the Next Gens and the Xfinities, so they have a bit more experience coming in on those Next Gens compared to these Chevy Camaros. A bit different. These Toyota Supras in this case and these Ford Mustangs, they are similar, but they are not the same, and that will lead to some calamity perhaps if drivers take it in with a different driving approach. Stock cars more often than not are very similar when it comes to handling, but those minute differences are what make the best drivers the best. Rob Ackley, the best man here in warm-up, gets it done with a 23.745, and he will be there on the top step of the podium in second practice. This time by the top step on the podium in qualifying is the 29 of Nick Tarbuck. Let's get right into it here and now as the entirety of Iowa Speedway is lit up to get this one going, and it's going to be an exciting showdown, that is for sure. Tarbuck there with Andy DeBarro, and I think everyone except, of course, for the iRacing official pace car is ready to get it going. Alan's Art Images, Doug Middendorf, thank y'all for stopping by. A great crowd tonight. That's for the second time in a few days. We have in fact gone over the 900 subscriber threshold, 97 short of the big 1,000, and your support, it means the world to every one of us. We're live on FDN twice tonight. River Page and Michael Cormetis are doing another league at Watkins Glen. Same cars, just a different group of drivers, but the playoff stakes are going to be more visible here than anywhere else. So stick around. We'd love to have you here on FDN, and I'd love to have you here watching the Ignite the Excitement 150 as the fuse will be lit for yet another great night of racing. Every driver on the grid. Kerry Hopkins, thank you for stopping by. We're grabbing gears here and now as everyone gets ready to go one more time, pacing before the clash gets going. 150 laps in Iowa, when a lap takes just over 20 seconds is not a long time. These drivers know it, and they will have to think smart all night long. Aggression, if it can be controlled, it's going to be crucial, as you don't want to see a driver go around spinning very early, but you also want to be that guy who makes the move at the perfect time to take the checkered flag. A driver like Tarbuck might not have to worry about it right now. He does have that clean air, and when the Ford Mustang lets him loose, he will have the edge to get it going. It's going to be the iRacing official pace car diving in next time by, as iRacing, as a matter of fact, considers this track to be a shorter track than most. It is 1 mile in length, so it's going to be one extra pace lap to get it going. And with that being said, one more time before the show gets on the road, and these drivers are getting one more opportunity to get acclimated to their setting inside the car. Great to see a strong field of almost 30 here tonight. Most often we do see leagues have a bit of trouble as the seasons go on, but this group just has no quit, and that is for certain. Going to be a great show here in Iowa. The Xfinity machines have put on some of course, timeless races time after time, and tonight it looks like it will be just that once more. Daffin going to be in fourth, looking for yet another strong run, one podium on the season so far. Oh, so close to victory at Atlanta, looking to do it once more, as he got a great run on Saturday Night Showdown on FTN. Can he get it done on Monday? That remains to be seen, as the iRacing official pace car dives in this time by, and we are here to ignite the excitement for 150 miles. Let's get into it here from Iowa Speedway. And as we let that first lap breathe out, Anthony Navarro, the top man on the board, Alec Daffin, climbs into second here, and it's going to be Nick Tarbuck in position number 3. A great start for everyone so far. The number 1 machine dives down to the inside line. He wants to control this race, and he's already out of sight on the quarter panel view. And you know what that means? In 2 laps, we've had 2 brand new leaders, but Navarro gets it done that time by and holds on to lead a lap. 3 laps in, and aggression's coming into play just like that. And these drivers don't want to wait. Driver like Alec Daffin knows that he wants any chance at the series championship. Well, he'll have to get it done tonight with a victory. He's had some great runs so far in this season, but he's still in trouble overall, and it might not fall in his favor. He's only 32 points up on that transfer into the top 16. Flawlessness, it is necessary if you want to make it in. Anthony Navarro right now knows that as well. As a matter of fact, he's outside of the transfer spot. He's not in the top 20 just yet this season. He's going to need a saving grace for any opportunity, as Nick Tarbuck goes down to the inside line. He and Thunderst are both effectively locked in. As a matter of fact, Matthew Thunders is up on that cutoff by 143 points entering this race as the points leader the 29 machine is, and he is in, of course, a good standing to get that overall prize courtesy of Next Level Racing. Keep an eye out on that as the night goes on, as the 29 goes down to the inside line, and he's keeping a close eye on Alec Daffin. The field overall having some great battles, as it's going to be the number 15 of Braxton Weiss already battling with Forrest Smith there in position number 22. Take a ride on board with the man in the 93 machine. It's going to be Travis McQuistion trying to get a wide shot. As no, there's going to be something in front, and it's going to be the parting of the seas, and we missed it right there immediately, but you could see something was going on there, and they're all still clustered up. Take an instant replay. It was Trevor Drago there with Brandon Wenger. They all save it, and unbelievably, that was, of course, a wreck that we missed due to some sheer talent. What a run that was for every driver to keep it going, and they are still straight as we speak. Back up to the live feed. It's going to be Braxton Weiss watching every driver weasel through. Rob Ackley now going to be in big trouble, and he's falling down the field big. Looks he has some contact already on that number 22. Take a look at this. Now he's going to be put 3 wide middle, and he is in all sorts of trouble already. We'll take a look back in just a moment. Give us a second. We'll take it back 20, and now you can see Ackley by that point was already slow. Take it back a little more. Goes on to the Jacob Fife machine. The 22 gets it all squirrely. He hits, I believe, nobody besides Netcode there, and he does get into Brian McFerrin on the number 22's end, so that's going to be some net code, setting the number 22 machine down into 22nd place. He'll be there, maybe not forever, but he isn't certainly there for now. And it is uncertainty indeed that he's battling now with Braxton Lewis. And the mid-pack is fierce here tonight. They know that every driver has the same statistical odd of making it in. Of course, when we go down to the numerics, it's got to be something in the decimals, but tonight we'll keep it simple. Slim to none. If you're not in that top 16 right now, your chances are very, very slim. The guy with the best shot at the moment is Brandon Bernhardt, and he is running the race of his life right now. He's in 21st. He's getting caught up in that mid-pack, but he needs to make something happen here on Joe Dinsmore, and that he has thus far. Dinsmore in the 95 is in 27th spot at the moment, and he would have that transfer over the driver in that Chevy Camaro. Timothy Johnston only 13 points out coming into the night. Casey Shue only 18 out, and Alan Dobbs only 22. Dobbs right now running the best race of any man in that hopeful bunch. He's in 8th at the moment. He's chasing the 18 machine of Cody Smith and Jacob Fife. He's right there on Cody Griffin, trying to make himself outside of the Cody sandwich. He'll be stuck there for now, though. 11 laps in, DeBar leads from Daffin, and then it's going to be Nick Tarbuck and Matthew Thunders as Thunders dives to the inside line. Once more to make it happen, that will be for position number 3. The lighting is coming up here in Iowa. You might have just noticed a bit of a jolt on your screen, and that's because the stadium lighting here in Iowa, it is on, and it's time for the night skies to come into fruition, and it looks like that they are as they come up the track once again. It's going to be Nick Tarbuck there in 4th, Cody Griffin in 5th, Jacob Fife in 6th, and with this being said, lap times are not dropping all too much. Last time by for Anthony DeBarro, he ran at 24.53, his best laps at 24.9, or rather at 23.994, only 6 thousandths off of a 24-second lap flat. So he's not too far off his best pace, 13 laps in. That means that it could be the counteracting of the forces of the tire given by the weather that keeps him rolling as quick as ever. It's going to be Alec Daffin still chasing him, Thunders there in 3rd, Nick Tarbuck in the 4th spot, and Cody Griffin there in 5th, as Jacob Fife holds on strong in position number 6. The battle in the mid-pack, though, is fierce as Wenger now going to be right there with the number 88 in the side of the 15. And that time by looks like Deweese gets the edge. He'll now be inside the top 20, chasing down Forrest Smith and the battling Trevor Drago. The night sky is right now looking to dim, not without a whimper, but with a bang. It's looking brighter than ever, quite ironically. And right now, Trevor Drago's chances of beating Forrest Smith in this battle are looking brighter than ever as well. Now he's going to be battling it up with Thomas Bressie. And if we take a look on the quarter panel cam from Bressie that time through, that number 37 had a shot at him, but chose not to take it. And it is one of the brightest night skies I've ever seen, quite frankly. But you can tell that sun is setting because the shade is on throughout the entirety of the track. Front stretch, back stretch, you name it. Right now, it looks like the heat is on from the tires on the track surface and not from the sun. Right now, someone trying to ignite the heat is Trevor Drago, as he's currently in 16th spot as Gael Brooks falls back one, and now the 71 has been passed and might be past double. Make it a 2-for-1 for the 37, as the 71 might just be passed on that second try around. Looking a bit further up front right now, how about Alan Dobbs? He's still holding on in 8th. Don Stevenson there in 9th. Brian McFerrin having a great run in position number 10. I tell you what, Brian McFerrin needs a run like this and needs it bad. He's had some good speed as of recent, but wrecks like, of course, the one we saw him in at Bristol time after time, flipping it over. That's what can take the momentum out of a season, and especially when these seasons are only 15 races long, 2 seasons in 1 year. There's going to be an overall culmination at the end of the year, but right now, these guys looking to get it done in the A season, as we dub it. Well, they are not looking to get it at any wrecks. It's been consistency that's been their key. And right now, Brian McFerrin looking to gain more and more from said consistency. It looks like, as it stands, 28 men on the track, and Chris Cabot on debut is running exactly in the mid-pack. He's 14th at the moment, a serviceable debut at Indeed, and it's going to be at position number 14, where he's lied for quite a while as a veteran Thomas Bressie chasing him down, a multi-time winner, and we've seen him begin to fly race after race. He's just about 12 points off the championship lead coming into the night, but Matthew Thornworth is up front right now and might be able to stretch that gap going into the first round of the Clash. That's going to be a crucial points race in its own right, and and we'll get that graphic up on screen for you later in the going to make sure that y'all understand the situation here for every driver. It is getting intense, and it can't be more tense for a guy like Dinsmore, a guy like, well, Johnson's not here, so Brandon Bernhardt, and it can't be more tense for the guy who was only 4 points up on the board. Well, it looks like he's actually not here as well. We'll take it up to more. Trevor Drago coming out of the night is 6 points up on the cutoff, and Blake Gordon, who was only 4 up, is currently not there on this track surface. He said he'd be out for a good majority of the season here. At the moment, it looks like it's Trevor Drago picking up the pieces, getting more positions as a result, and he now sees himself fly down the back right behind the Bressie machine. Thomas Bressie's most recent win in this season, the Task Force 300 GP, getting it done in a special red, white, and blue livery for the title sponsor of that event, and for him, the task is to win once more. He knows he's locked into the Clash, but right now, he also knows that he, of course, wants to chase those checkered flags. Got it done first at Talladega, got that one over, got the weight off his shoulders, and then he went from there, and he was on a tear, got an undercut done on strategy, and he proves to be, time after time, one of the best drivers to look out for whenever strategy is in mind, as Trago now gets in the wall and has Braxton Louise chasing him with Forrest Smith. Rob Ackley going to go side by side this time through. It's going to be Brandon Bernhardt up high, and they'll be fighting double file for position number 22. And as they slip and slide time after time, it's going to be the driver of the 64 machine, DJ Stagger, trying to enter into the battle. He's going to be 24th on the board so far, but certainly he has enough room to maybe make it happen in the top 20. It's going to be Boomer Logan who bookends that top 20 at the moment, in position number 20, as Denny Smith comes to the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed tonight's showdown. As you can see, the great racing in is already on, and 25 through. Joe Dinsmore now trying to make a run at it on DJ Stagner. Ackley goes up high, that time by, looks like he's got a bit of trouble. More and more that damage is beginning to compile on his end, and he will have to look for other avenues of strategic advantages. Well, right now, it looks like his advantage is just running with the draft, as the damage is not major, but if anything more comes on him, say he slams the wall once or twice more, he might be in major trouble, and that might be his night then and there. Of course, remains to be seen. He's still holding on quite nicely so far, but coming through turn 4 on the front stretch, it seems like something is going awry for the number 22 and Rob Ackley. Looking up front further and further, Forrest Smith has a side-by-side battle. Right behind him is going to be Kyle Cooper and Boomer Logan. Logan looks to get one more spot here. Looks like he doesn't have it just yet, but the 73, defending all he can, does not have it cleared down to the bottom line. Multiple groups are developing here in this circuit, and Iowa Speedway getting some great fan support. Deadshot Gaming coming in as well. Thank you for stopping by, as Logan goes up higher, then goes down way lower, and he goes deep sea diving, trying to get that spot. Doesn't get it though, and for the National Guard, he'll have to guard his own position, as now Kyle Brooks, who was up there in the top 10 in qualifying, has fallen back just outside the top 20. Looking up front once again, it looks like Alec Daffin is still there in second. Matthew Thunhorst, one of the other drivers involved in the battle, of course, for the overall championship, but in addition, the regular season championship. As it stands, Thunhorst has that held quite nicely. He's 12 points up on Bressie coming into the night, and he has about 10-15 spots ahead of him at the moment, but fates could change just like that. So far, the top 3 have been able to run away quite nicely, and nobody's been on him. That number 8 just has to keep hitting his marks if he wants to keep it up front for the regular season crown. The clash is set to begin for the overall championship in this leg of the Tour Ignite Season A of 2023. It will be on its way next time we go racing, and right now the regular season finale to this leg. It has been exciting. Everyone up throughout the field and then down back, they're all putting their best foot forward, as this could be it for their chances at the title. It's going to be Brian McFerrin right now holding on in 10th. A great run for him, as we mentioned. It's going to be now the 17 of Chad Cole battling with Travis McQuistion, as the EcoBoost machine tries to get that side draft boost down the backstretch. Brad Patton right there as well. That number 2 Toyota Supra machine goes up high, tries to get that pulled down in his own right, as Chad Cole is going to have to concede and give the 93 that spot for the moment. The number 2, though, Nat Supra trying to chase down the 2 Mustangs and take them for a spin, as he's right now on that back bumper quite closely. And take a look at the back bumper. Indeed, Brad Patton, one of those guys on the bubble for the championship, Of course, it's top 16. He could be in it. He's going to go real close that time. Dives it in deep, but he's going to have to pay the price as he now falls back major. 33 laps through. It could have been, but it was not. And now the 17 dives through once more and tries to make it side by side for position number 11. Still inside the top dozen of these drivers are Brad Patton, the last man in the Baker's dozen, as we keep it going. And Chris Cabot is getting closer and closer to this show. Thomas Bressi was about a 2/10 of a second gap away for the man in number 54. Right now, he's about a half second off as Braxton Deweese has stalled out in 16th. This battle up front, though, could lead to some promising passes for drivers right behind. We've seen some very near misses so far in tonight's show, and it could be yet another again, as everyone racing nice and clean has given us some exciting moments. Nonetheless, Wenger down pit road. He's been there for about 3 laps now, so it's going to be bad news for him. We'll see whether or not that's going to be a retiree, of course, very early in that number 88, Cal Filarski, the last man on the lead lap as it stands. He's 19 seconds off, and it's going to be Patton barreling down the back. This time by tries to get himself involved once again. The 93 McQuistion knows he's got 2 guys to defend from right now, and the Z-Line decides number 17 machine. This pass, it was by design, but now Brad Patton looks to get him right back. As the number 93 goes up high, tries to diamond art that turn, knows that Chad Cole uses that entry to try to get a lunge going and try to force a mistake. He does not get that mistake forced though, and McQuistion holds steady. Not what you want to see if you're behind the 93, but exactly what you want to see if you are in front. But Brian McFerrin gaining on another man, and that's going to be Alan Dobbs in position number 10. Dobbs, as it stands, is the driver to beat in the bubble right now, having one of the best runs of anyone in that show, and he is currently just 22 points out. It is still a long shot run for Allen, but he's got the most pace out of any driver so far in that tight complexion, and he could be able to prove his worth as a title contender if tonight goes just his way. It's going to be drivers like Dinsmore, Bernhardt, and Johnston he'll have to worry about. Johnston, Casey Shue, and Blake Gordon are all not here, so he could be able to bring himself up big time when it comes to the points and maybe become the last man in the show. Brandon Wenger down and out. That will be his night, and that will be his chances for the title this leg of the season. Unfortunate to say, we got one retiree so far, but no wrecks, no yellows, so it was, of course, unfortunately not caused by that, but it was a driver retiree by choice. Cal Filarski going to be going down to the inside line as he lets the leaders by there, and the number 6 is in dire straits as DeBarro passes him with ease. DeBarro, while not your pole sitter, has led just about every lap here. Alec Daffin almost led at lap number 2, but was not able to get it at the start-finish line, and these 2 guys have been able to check out and make it 3, as Thunderst is still right there with them, hanging in tough. The DMG United machine is uniting himself with the top 2 drivers time and time again, one of the driving forces in this league, and Thunderst right now still has a chance to wrap up that regular season title. Not able to grab any of the bonus points, but neither has Thomas Bressi, so it's going to be fair game between them when it comes to positions. It could be the leg up he desires, though. Funhorst, in his case, has it for now in 3rd compared to Bressi's position number 16. As they drive through and through, these guys are slicing and dicing. DeBarro still is going to be there in the first spot as we come down to lap number 42. Take a lap on board with your race leader. And as DeBarro comes out of turn number 4, once again, you can see that time by, he looks to be saving his tires by going just a bit higher, not using a very extreme approach to these corners. He's going right down to where those white dotted lines are on the track and using them as his guide to become faster and faster. Right now, it looks like he's following what my dad would say about racing. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Right now, he's not lunging into the corners per se, but he's using all that track banking to sort of carry him through and push himself right out of the turns with ease. He's got a 6/10 jump on Alec Daffin right now, and that's an advantage that could carry him deep into the pit cycle if, of course, he gets that optimal pit time. 44 laps in, we're almost a third of the way through this event, and you begin to question whether or not these guys need to come down pit road sometime soon. That might become a big question as the night goes on, and I'm certainly asking it to myself right now, but I'd love to hear from the drivers. Right now, though, I'm sure they're all concentrating as good as ever as we see a big stack up in the mid-pack right now. DJ Stagner is now in the top 20. He's got Forrest Smith there in 20th. Gael Brooks there in position number 21 as Brandon Bernhardt takes himself into 22nd as they go inside and out. They're slicing, dicing, and keep it nice. And when we say that, Bernhardt right now in 22nd might just have that final spot over Joe Dinsmore, but it's getting closer and closer, maybe too close for comfort. As you can see right now, Dinsmore only 2 spots behind the driver in that number 81, and that means that he's still in closing distance on that final spot in this playoff format. The Clash 16 drivers right now, he comes into tonight as the bubble man. Bernhardt was only 4 points back, but he's only 2 spots up, so it means that all of his gains will not, of course, surpass the losses, and he'll have to claw just a bit further where he was before. But right now, the number 88, of course, not on the track to number 81, where the Silky Moonshine machine is not getting through silky smooth. He'll have to change something up for any chance at a pass here and now. The overtakes are not expected for him, but Alec Daffin, while not expected to overtake Anthony DeBarlo, is still having a great race in his own right. Currently 48 laps through, he's one of the men to beat for Summit Esports, and he's been on the summit all night long here in Iowa. His goal, of course, is to try to find the key to pass Anthony DeBarlo, but right now, nobody seems to have that pass. What he does have, though, is an awful lot of pace compared to almost every other driver on the track. While DeBarlo is still clear faster, no driver has been able to catch up to him for third position or any other spot right now, so still in good standing as the night goes on to keep himself close to that podium. Matthew Thorner's going to be there, of course, in third, and these guys are now beginning to run 25-second laps. That time by Anthony DeBarlo ran a 25.045, and Alex Daffin ran a 24.987, so ironically, that time through, he was the fastest, and Anthony DeBarlo is still your leader now. He'll go back to the top spot in lead. 50 laps in, just about a third of the way through, we will head to our Next Level Racing promotional break. Next Level Racing for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best since 2009, and we hope you do enjoy this presentation courtesy of their support. And undeniable that Next Level Racing, top of the game, is going to be pit cycles here, so we'll have to delay our break as the pit cycles are now underway here in Iowa, and we'll get right back to Next Level Racing. Right now, this is the next level change in strategy as the first drivers come in, and it's going to be DeBarlo, the first of which, and it looks to be a 2-stop strategy coming in on lap number 50, entering lap 51. Daffin stays out, and he will be able to lead his first lap of the night. And we'll check into the guys who come in this time through. DeBarlo now going to be falling all the way back, gets into a stall just perfectly there, and so does Nick Tarbuck. Gets a bit more hesitant though on the entry, but will still be there in due time. As it stands, it's going to be a very far, of course, away group, and there'll be a very small group with Bressie, Stevenson, Smith, and DeBarlo immediately in, and DeBarlo's already out here, and he's going to be in a bit of trouble that time through. He is wiggling, but he's going to be able to get it back on his way. It's going to be Anthony DeBarlo now back on the move, but as you can see, he was almost out of control. Immediately take it back 10 seconds. And now we're going to go just a bit further. This was his pit exit using our close-up drone cams only on FDN. And he almost had that thing lost. Undeniable that he was able to save it just perfect. And now we have back on the move as Alec Daffin comes in that time by into Daffin machine. Now looks to be behind Anthony DeBarlo. Now, not sure how far back he is, but as he comes around to strike this time by, DeBarlo looks to be good to go to perhaps pass Daffin, but it's going to be really close. Is it going to be enough? DeBarlo comes through, and that time through, it looks like it might just be, and that it is. DeBarlo still has the edge here in strategy. The 27 back out front. He's got a 1.1 second edge, so it is exactly where he left off. As more and more drivers come down pit road, Alan Dobbs gets a bonus point this time by, and it is all fair game for the playoff drivers in the bubble and the championship lead, as this time through the 05 machine now has the top spot on the board. Great for him. Alan Dobbs now getting those bonus points that he needs, with Brian McFerrin in second, Travis McQuistion there in third, Boomer Logan going to be in fourth, and DJ Stagler will be in fifth. His first green flag run to shuffle things up more and more, and it's looking nice for every driver up in front, but it's getting a bit shakier get these guys up in front. If you're outside of the top 5, top 6, maybe top 7, you don't have a great chance. And these guys in the top 5, top 6, top 7 right now, well, they will have to pit, and they're most likely going to fall far out of cycle. Right now, though, the man who's on cycle quite perfectly is going to be Anthony Navarro. He's the top man, 1 lap down. As it stands, almost every driver is on the lead lap. We do have now a second retiree in Cal Fularski, 18 laps down, and that will be his night and his chances to come into the Clash in its 16-driver round. So that being said, Navarro still looks to loop back up as Alan Dobbs is due to come into the pit road anytime now. Does he come in this time by? It looks like that he does not. Dobbs is still rolling, and he's going to keep it strolling nice and smooth. He's your leading man, 57, becoming 58 laps in out of 150. With that being said, it looks like the excitement has died down just a bit, and we'll take a minor break. The Next Level Racing, the high-quality sim racing performance product since 2009. A word about Next Level Racing's newest partnership, officially licensed Ferrari Elite products, designed especially for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. We will be right back after our first Next Level Racing promotional break of the night. And that will be your first Next Level Racing promotional break. Next Level Racing for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best since 2009. Be sure to visit their website at nextlevelracing.com for more information, as this time through, it's going to be Matthew Flanders who gets his lap back, with Alan Dobbs still being your leading man, 62 laps in out of 150. A next level drive for him to keep it out in front, and he's going to play the long game here, try to make a one-stopper, and this means we do see, in fact, some parity in our competition to see who has the best strategy. Right now, it's going to be Nick Tarbuck that time through trying to get his lap back, which means drivers such as Daffin and DeBarro have already gotten it through, and that they have. But Alec Daffin now, he is on the loose, and it looks like he might have laid back that first run because that number 1 is looking for some fun, and he's looking to cycle back up into the top spot when this is all said and done. The number 27 machine still has that lead. He almost threw it away there on pit exit, but he's still surprisingly very quick off pit exit and marginally quicker than Alec Daffin. That's the margin that he needed, as Daffin is using everything up on his tire right now to make it happen here in Iowa. This is the last chance and the last dance for a man like Alec. He's currently far out of the championship bubble, but he knows that a victory could swing things in his favor. It could be the checkered flag that changes everything for this season and gets him on a swing of momentum. Now it's going to be Daffin backing into the inside line. He's got Boomer Logan right in front of him, and Logan gets into the wall there, so he's going to be really shaken up by that 94, and Boomer might be playing a part here, as it looks like the National Guard machine is still fighting for his life in that, of course, Chevy Camaro. Your leading man is still Alan Dobbs, 65 laps through, and he's holding on with the long game here as we see him go 3 wide tracks in the question with the Cody Griffin machine, and Jacob Fife backs out that time through. Fife and Griffin are on the same path, and that's the path to the lead lap, as the number 3 going to be able to take him through. He's going to be in 14th at the moment as Traco comes down pit road. He'll be the last man to bite on the strategy. It looks like he will go down 65 laps through. The leaders come by once again. Now it's going to be Jacob Fife, pressured with Alec, of course, not in frame, but will be the driver of the number 05 alongside Jacob Fife, Brian McFerrin. Alec Daffin is still far out of this battle. He's still about 16 seconds off of the leading man, and it looks like the leading men have not changed when it comes to the off-pit cycle and on-pit cycle, as these drivers on still see Anthony Navarro as the top spot on the board. 67 laps through out of 150. And Alan Dobbs still has this battle in his hands. Brian McFerrin's in second right now, but the pressure, it is mounting as lap machines such as the Cody Smith, number 18, and Don Stevenson, number 47, put more and more speed onto the circuit. Speed that cannot be matched by drivers on old tires. And this tire war, it is on. It's not between the Goodyears and Hoosiers. It's between the old and new Eagles. And right now, one man ready to soar is Patton. Patton goes down to the inside line. Stevenson's in a bit of trouble. Brian McFerrin is as well. Do they save it? Yes, they do. And we'll keep it going. That could have been much worse. A big kerfuffle there. And it looks like it is already over with. It's going to be Bresci who gets a spot. So does Chris Cabot. And now that number 7 of Brian McFerrin, who's running as high as second, has fallen back major. Take a look at the instant replays. McQuistion comes down pit road. Brian McFerrin caught up in that one and caught in the act with Cody Smith. And it looks like Don Stevenson comes right up to him, hooks him just a bit. Thankfully, he's able to save it. Don Stevenson was able to save it as well. And with that being said, Don actually gets the edge out, but does have a bit more damage on that number 47 machine. Now, Stevenson is one lap down as it stands, and he is falling fast. He's in 19th position at the moment, not on the cycle, and currently looking to make something happen a bit different as Alan Dobbs still leads Brian McFerrin, and surprisingly, that number 7 does indeed hold on to the runner-up spot. DJ Stagner now going to be in third, and Gael Brooks will be in fourth. DJ Stagner able to win one race on this season so far at Bristol, but still not close enough to the, of course, battle in the top 16. He's in 10th, so he's above all that. And Brian McFerrin comes out of the pit road. Stagner's big victory at Bristol is all but locking him in to this clash right now. He just has to be here, and that he is indeed. As Brandon Bernhardt comes in this time by in that number 81. He comes right there with the number 7 machine. They both leave only now 6 drivers on the same strategy, and it looks like Anthony DeBarro going to be able to pass one here. And now the 33 of Jonathan Giravon has been on his tires for 72 laps, and now DeBarro, after a pit stop, has been able to pass him. With that being said, Anthony DeBarro is on a great pace to get that lead naturally. Shades of Ethan Lane at Rockingham in the Octane Series. It could happen once again, this time by and the Xfinity machines as he comes through once more. Joe Dinsmore, who's in 4th at the moment, of course would hope for this to be the end of the race because he wants to stay up in this top pace level. Right now, though, he'll be put down one spot into 5th. Dobbs still has the lead as now it's going to be the number 15 machine. All Braxton Weiss pressuring him alongside Trevor Trago, and you can see how quick Trago comes up on him. So does DeWeese. They're going to be able to split him 3. They actually choose to go up high as the number 05 chooses to defend as hard as he can, defending like a lion, but it won't work off for well, as it looks like the ones who get away are the ones who work off the new tires. Stagner down to pit road this time through. DJ Stagner in the 64 falls down to 8th, 9th, 10th as he's going to come into pit road from 3rd position. 75 laps into his run. Will bail on the plans. The cross flags wave. This time by it's going to be a total of 75 laps to go here in Iowa. The Ignite the Excitement 150 has, of course, lit the fuse, as we always say, to some great racing. And right now, the high-octane fun is right in front of your leaders. It's Trago battling big right now in position number 25 with the man number 15, and that is, of course, Braxton DeWeese. DeWeese, as it stands, is on the lead lap. He is in 14th spot. With 75 to do, he has an awful lot of ways to go if he wants to get back up into winning contention. Dobbs comes down pit road this time. That's going to leave Gael Brooks as your race leader, or is it? As now it's going to be Anthony DeBarro coming in as well. Gael Brooks, Jonathan Giravon all come in, and the experiment is over to 77 laps in. It's the 2-stoppers versus the 1-stoppers here in Iowa, and now the 1-stoppers have their way once again. And 26 laps in, half away through their stint, they get the lead back. Now, DeBarro, knowing this, might think that it could be possible to go down for one more stop at lap 100. I am no advisor when it comes to pit strategy, but with that being said, he got the lead only one lap short, and I'm almost certain he was not going at a rocket ship pace here. He knows he is in a safe spot for a good finish, if not a victory. But with all the information coming through him right now, he gets the lead back at about lap number 77. He would need to get it back exactly at lap 150 if he wants to go for that 2-stopper. It's risky. Is it possible? Yes, but we're not sure if it is probable. Now, it looks like it could be both sets of strategies working all the way, as it looks like now Gael Brooks, Jonathan Giron, and Joe Dinsmore, they're all back on the track, with Dinsmore being the last man on the circuit, 2 laps down, and that could be the nail in the coffin for his run unless he has the tiebreaker over Brandon Bernhardt. Bernhardt is only now about 3 spots up. He's 23rd to Joe Dinsmore's 26th. But he does have the opportunity to make a pass on Trevor Drago. Keep an eye out for this. This could be the bubble battle we've all been waiting for, as the 81 is now pushing big to get up to Trevor Drago. Watch alongside the number 37. The 81 hopes to be just in a moment. Right now, Drago defending well. And with only 4 spots on the line to set up our stage for the clash, Bernhardt goes out of the inside line immediately, and the smoky moonshine right now looking to get right by. He is not taking the smoke from the 37 as they go side by side this time by, and that would be the silky smooth pass we mentioned, and now he is indeed 4 spots up on Joe Dinsmore, but looks like Joe Dinsmore now going to be on the lead lap once again. He's getting closer and closer to Jonathan Giron, and he will need some racing up in front and some attrition, perhaps between himself and Bernhardt, to get some more positions through the field. Anthony DeBarro right now is your leading man. Once again, Alec Daffin climbing closer and closer to the leader, but now Matthew Thunderst on that back bumper there for second. They're going to toss it up once more, as their top 3 have stayed the same all night long from the drop of the green flag to now. It would be just about the same order, as Nick Tarbuck, your pole sitter, has been able to keep himself in 4th, but he fell down early on that start, and until the checkered flag falls, well, it might change, but so far, past the halfway point, he's been there outside of our podium. And how about this? It's going to be Nick Tarbuck out there in 4th, as it's going to be Thunderous Daffin fighting as hard as ever there in positions number 2 and 3. Riding aboard with Alec Daffin right now. We'll take a look inside the cockpit this time by, and you'll be able to see that rear view mirror when we put away, of course, our view of the ticker. If not, well, it looks like that will be the case. You can see them all without it, and usually in the next gens you don't, but these Xfinity machines have a bigger mirror that is not digital, so these guys have all the accuracy in the world, courtesy of iRacing Motorsport Simulations, the best simulation in, of course, the entirety of the internet. It's the only way to feel the real racing night after night. These might not be real cars, but the racing is certainly as real as it can get. And right now, Alec Daffin is in one real hell of a battle. The number 1 machine goes down to the inside line. That time through, he's got Thunderous going 3 abreast with him. Kyle Cooper makes it 3. He's going to be able to stay up on the high side and gives these guys all the room that they need. That breathing room, it is a major as they go down to the inside line. Now Thunderous might have the edge, but the 1 machine's going to stick it right back to him. And will it work this time by? Maybe not, as Daffin now has to consolidate and concede. He goes down to the 3rd, and he's got to believe if he wants to make anything happen more. 65 laps to do it here, and it's DeBarro still running away, 9/10 up on the side-by-side battle that was Matthew Thunderst and Alec Daffin. And with this being said, and perhaps being done, DeBarro right now knows he has to put the power back down. Thunderst is one of the fastest drivers on the circuit, even in the heat of a battle, and we'll check how much quicker he could be to Anthony DeBarro this time through after stripe. As they come across the line here past the Geico restart zone, DeBarro going to be able to put down a 25.032, and Thunderst puts down a 24.993, so he gains almost a 1/10 of a second that time by. That's going to be notable as the laps clock down. It's only 8/10 he is away, so that would take him about 8 laps at that pace, and he has a total of 63. So keep that in mind. He could gain 1,000 after 1,000 as long as it consistently goes up in his favor. Well, he could have that victory at the tail end of the day. As it stands, the closest battle on the racing circuit is not up in front. It's between DJ Stagner and Kyle Cooper as they battle for position number 19. Stagner goes down to the inside, and Kyle Cooper keeps it high as they have 62 to do it. Now Cooper has some major pressure. Down to the inside, the blackout number 64 machine goes lights out on the 73, gets him cleared, and now it looks like DJ Stagner might be able to chase down Alec Daffin and the like. He's on a 14-lap-old set of tires, and with an alternate strategy not panning out, he's not all too worried, because as it stands, he is above that cut line for the playoffs. So good to hear on his end as Brandon Bernhardt holds on strong. Now he's in a major battle, and it could get him the points and the positions that he needs to, of course, solidify his battle between Joe Dinsmore as himself as the victor. And he wants himself as the victor, of course, to get in that top 16. It's a close, hard-fought battle, and the man who almost got it done in our bracket earlier this season became second in that due to a very early malfunction with the car, got involved with a few wrecks, and was just not able to be driven the remainder of the way. Now the 81 might just have a shot to redeem himself and find himself in the battle for $2,000 worth of equipment courtesy of Next Level Racing. Side by side, Cody Smith goes with Brad Patton. They're fighting for the 7th spot as it stands, as Jacob Fife keeps him honest there in 6th. And watching the side-by-side battle, Brad Patton using that inside line to his advantage. Most drivers choosing to keep it a bit wider than usual. And you can see that Patton right now falling back just a bit. Cody Smith looks to have just a bit more of an edge than what we saw out of him beforehand. Right now, he has it by just about a 1/10 of a second. Not all too major though. It might just be a bit more as the night goes through. Navarro going to be able to lead by 7/10 of a second, but the side-by-side action is just outside of your top 5 as Flood gets to the wall there, and he's going to be in a bit of trouble. They could take him 3, and that's what they intend to do. It's going to be Cody Smith in the middle, and Brandon Bernhardt to the inside line as they go 3 wide here in Iowa, and now Jacob Fife sees himself out as the leader of this battle. We checked in on Cody Griffin just a moment there. With 57 more to do it, it could be Fife's, as he now has the edge. Once again, multiple drivers getting more and more aggressive as the night goes on, and it looks like Jacob Fife able to fend them off for the most part. Close, no cigar. The battle will rage on, and it will rage on in Fife's favor for now. As they come down to the line once again, he's got a 4-car train up high, and Bernhardt chooses the battle down low. 95 laps through, and the 95 machine of Joe Dinsmore gets the pass that he needed. One pass, but right now it looks like Bernhardt is in 21st to Joe Dinsmore's 25th. So this could be the dire straits that Joe Dinsmore did not want to hit for his championship run, as 96 through out of 150. The driver of the 81 now has the advantage that could last all the way home. DeBarro leads. He's got Thunderous right behind him now, and Matthew Thunderous for the first time all race long. Someone is gaining. Daffin had a shot. Boomer Logan got there as well, and Pace just continued to dilapidate. Of course, it deflated away like a balloon, and now Matthew Thunderous is here to take it on, and he seems to have something going quite well. Goes right down to the apex, gets a bit of grip from the paint, and puts the power down a bit harder than any of the drivers have been able to do so far. That power is all that he will need to come home to the checkered flag on the top of the podium. Anthony DeBarro going to be there in that number 27 as they come down with 54 laps to go, make it 53, and the Ignite the Excitement 150 has been nothing short of its name. The excitement, it's only getting started here on FTN. The Clash will begin next week, and the final 5 races are going to be determining our champion. As Chris Cabot goes down pit road, he's had a solid debut all night long, been up there in the top 15. He comes through for what could be his final stop of this night. And DeBarro might have to consider it in his own right. He did go for a longer run. He's been on this stint for 48 laps compared to Matthew Thunderous' 45. So with that being said, is this stop the money stop for some, not for others? Well, of course, some drivers are in play for victory more, as DeBarro comes out on the inside line this time through, and with 52 laps to do it, he'll come in on lap number 99, make it triple digits for Thunderous. He leads them to lap number 100, as DeBarro comes in first out of the drivers in that coveted top 3. This could be the make or break stop. It's going to be DeBarro in, and now Thunderous in the lead, sliding inside and out. How about this? These guys are driving as hard as they can get it. The lap machines know it. They do not want to be caught up in this trouble. And with 51 becoming 50 laps to go, the pit cycle is back underway, but this time by, it's not major just yet, so we'll catch it as it gets more and more drivers. NextLevelRacing.com, high quality sim racing performance products since 2009, and right now a next level drive from Matthew Thunderous as he intends to go down pit road next time by. We'll be right back with all the coverage of pit road's action when we return from our second promotional break, courtesy of Next Level Racing. And that will be your second Next Level Racing advertisement break. And it looks like fortuitously there, we put it up on the screen. We did not mean to, but these are your Ignite Series points coming in tonight, so you can take a stab at the analysis that we've been doing all night long. It has, of course, been a next level drive for every driver, courtesy of nextlevelracing.com. But right now, all these drivers on your screen have a chance at the victory in this season's running. Of course, a 15-race leg of the tour this time through, and every driver here in the green is currently inside of the playoffs. But of course, it could change. The clash is ever changing, and just outside, well, there are a few drivers, including Dinsmore, who was now outside according to our timing and scoring. Brandon Bernhardt is outside according to what came in beforehand. Johnston, Shu, they're both not in this race as one man goes down an inside line. That's pit road for the number 8 machine in the Thunderous. Alan Dobbs looking to get that long run, long shot race in, as he's had the best race out of any driver who's a hopeful to get in to the clash this time by. And it's going to be one man playing in on the final race before our playoff format. It's Thunderous down to pit road, and Alan Dobbs gets back to the lead as soon as we mention him. Speak of the 05, and he comes back. It's now Alan Dobbs, the top man on the board with 45 laps remaining, and he has himself in a good spot to go all the way. Of course, having a solid run has Cody Smith right there with him. Smith will get that lap back immediately, and we'll see if the number 27 does a shot to cycle through. It looks like he was able to do that effortlessly, and look at how big the advantage comes out to be, as now Bernhardt is, of course, in 6 according to our ticker. And in addition, there's one man fighting and trying to get back up, and he's wishing that he's got the pace to do it, and pretty sure that he does. DeBarro in the 27 is in 5th, and he's 10 seconds off of your leader, and he has 44 laps to get up. 10 seconds on a new set of the tires. He's about a second a lap faster, so this could be the moment that the checkered flag falls, of course, in his favor. The Anthony DeBarro machine has been looking for luck like this all season long, getting a front row start in Vegas, and for his sake, unfortunately, it did not come through there. He had a start, of course, that no driver will want a penalty very early. He has a clause of the field for the remainder of the race, and it just unraveled from there. With 42 laps to go, DeBarro right now is 9 seconds away from the Alan Dobbs machine that is trying oh so hard to make it to the checkered flag. He's on a one-stop strategy right now. It might not pay off, as right now Anthony DeBarro is clearly the fastest man on the track. He's gaining more and more time on that number 05, and Brian McFerrin knows it as well. He's in second despite the little shakeup he had with Don Stevenson. The number 7 lives on to race another day, so for the man that got impacted the most, it's surprising, to be honest, that he's running as well as he is right now. Still second with Travis McQuistion there in 3rd. Stagner going to be there in 4th as they go side by side down the back, and these two are going to continue to drive one another crazy here as one goes high, one goes low, and they'll both merge into the middle here in Iowa. Now, a great story coming from the EcoBoost camp. Roush Racing used to have a very dominant Xfinity team in the 2010s, and one of the most storied victories came here with Trevor Bayne and Carl Edwards in Iowa Speedway at around 2011, when it was once called, of course, the Nationwide Series. The final lap, it was the number, I believe, 60 machine way back when that was running out of fuel. It stopped on the front stretch, and Trevor Bayne came into his teammate in Carl Edwards, and they crashed at over 120 miles an hour down the front stretch on the final lap. So eventually the driver that had no fuel won that race, and it all came down to one of the wildest wrecks in NASCAR history. It was a checkers and wreckers scenario, and only at Iowa will you see finishes like that. This Xfinity Series package has given us great races for over a decade here, and once again, we are being shown that not only by the Fords, but by the Chevys, as right now it's going to be the number 24 in Thomas Bresci, looking to get right by Alan Dobbs. He's in 21st at the moment, looks to be able to cycle up just a few if the drivers doing the one-stop choose to come down on pit road. And this should, of course, be the final stop for every driver, bar a yellow. 114 laps in, we have not gotten one yellow, and while we have gone oh so close, no cigar indeed. These drivers have held a clean steering wheel all night long, and what a clean wheel it's been for Alan Dobbs. The 05 machine, he is running the race that he needs to get into the final running of the season, the Clash. He's only 22 points out at the moment on Joe Dinsmore, but Dinsmore's been able to claw himself up into the 17th spot, so this could be bad news as Dobbs, while being able to lead laps more and more all night long, is still off cycle and still off the textbook compared to the good majority of these drivers. The points are not final just yet, but they don't appear to swing in Dobbs' favor just yet indeed. Still a great run for him as he tries to put that last-ditch effort into motion. Stagner is in a three-wide battle with the leader, and Anthony Navarro goes into third, and we say he's a leader because he leads his own cycle. 16 laps in, he's gone into third, and now he's only 5 seconds adrift from Alan Dobbs. 35 laps still to go, and they put up a hard barrier on him, and he pushed on through like it was nothing. Coming down the line this time by, it is going to be Navarro right there in third. Trevor Trago in the 37 is not on the lead lap, but he'll be there pushing that number 27 Navarro sliders machine to wit's end, and he'll have to think of something here and now to try to combat it as he wants his victory more than anyone else. Alan Dobbs, that time through, still has the lead by about 4 seconds or so. It's going to be now Johnny Gearvun going up to the high side and lets him go. It'll be Rob Ackley trying to split on 3, and Ackley had a great qualifying effort earlier in this race and has not been able to convert it over overall. Of course, a great start, but not the best finish for the man who won at Daytona. Unfortunately, for his sake, fallen far out of favor when it comes to the point standings, except for that victory. That one at Daytona has kept him in all night long, all season long, and without that, I don't know where he'd be, but he's currently 4th, and while it has been a solid night, he's going to continue to look for more and more spots, 21st on the running order tonight after starting just outside your top 5. And Alan Dobbs set to come to the stripe once again and make a lap 120. Brian McFerrin is still going to be 1 second off, but take a look at who is right behind him. It is Anthony Navarro, and that number 27 machine has seen it all. Trevor Trago gets by. It looks like he's on a newer set of tires, but no driver besides that 27 in the leading battle seems to be quick enough to make a charge. McFerrin has been able to hold steady all night long, but that will not be enough to get the checkered flag. And as it stands, the man who has the best chance to take it from the Alan Dobbs machine is currently in third, getting closer, and even closer as it becomes 30 laps to go here in the Ignite the Excitement 150. As we look back just a bit further, closest battle on the racing circuit. Is it getting tighter? Yes, it is. It's going to be Braxton Weiss there with Gael Brooks. These drivers fighting for position number 14, and that time by, it's going to be Weiss who goes out on the inside line. He's trying to get 14th away from Gael, but that time the EcoBoost machine gets that boost down the back, and it's going to be side drafting that the Weiss uses to keep it in motion and tries to make the pass. That time, they are dead even, and that time through, it will be the 15 who gets at the tiniest scoring line, but it is not definite, but it could be now as Braxton gets that edge on entry and gets it on exit. He'll be clear for 14th at the moment. As we look through further and further drivers getting closer, well, Chad Cole gets closer to Brad Patton, Travis McQuistion gets closer to DJ Stanger, and Brian McFerrin sees that Anthony Navarro gets closer and closer to him. 123 laps in the making so far. That number 27, well, he might be running out of steam. He is far from out of it overall, 2 seconds away from your leader, and Alan Dobbs, who knows, will have to think of something. 27 laps to get through, 20 tenths per, of course, every lap. He could do that. Well, it'll be just a mistake for an Alan Dobbs who got through 2 seconds in one lap, but he can make down 1/10 every lap, and he will still be there with 7 laps to spare. That's how fast Navarro is right now. And that time by, it was Alan Dobbs who ran at 25.097, and Navarro ran at 24.839, so it is certain that one man is faster in this battle, but Brian McFerrin might be the roadblock that Alan Dobbs needs. As you can see off the back bumper here and now, it's going to actually be Navarro who goes high for a pass. The first time we've seen that on that camera angle all night long. As they come through with 26 now to do it, it is going to be McFerrin with some pressure down the inside now, and you can see that Navarro makes it in, and he'll be there in position number 2. 25 laps to do it here in Iowa, and Alan Dobbs has nobody between himself and the fastest driver all night long. How about that? What a way it could be to go out of this run before the clash for Anthony Navarro and get that walk-off win. It could be his as he's now getting closer and closer to completion. Travis McQuistion comes down pit road this time by. It could be the end of his experiment, and it could be the end of the one-stop plan. It could be enough for a guy like Alan Dobbs to keep holding on, hoping that someone like Joe Dinsmore falls further and further back, but he will need perfection out of his 05, and he will need the worst for a guy like Dinsmore on that bubble. So right now, it could be a move to the side, maybe a pit stop, maybe not for Alan. He'll have to think of it quick and quicker than ever, as now Anthony Navarro is on that back bumper, 9/10 of a second for Matthew Thunder's there as well, and now the 8 machine is getting closer and closer. Keep an eye out for the both of them, as with 23 becoming 22 laps to go, we'll go to your TrackCams22.com, crank it up. Track cams for Gormers, the best cameras on iRacing. I hope you enjoy our Crank It Up live and uninterrupted. And my oh my, with 17 laps to go, this race is getting intense, and we'll bring it to you uninterrupted as we get our final Next Level Racing promotion in this lap. Next Level Racing, high quality sim racing performance products since 2009 will be right back. Or no, the battle is speeding up now. This could be the pass for the lead, and we are going to keep it right here. Next Level Driving it is indeed, as DeBarro goes around the outside. He might have done this time by. Dobbs tries to hold on. He thinks better, but no, he does not. He sends it way too. DeBarro's going to go around. Almost indeed. Now he's going to slide, and he almost does not survive, but that 27 poised for victory all night long is now 1.8 seconds back. He's got a lot to claw back down immediately, as it's going to be Dobbs in second. Matthew Thunders now is given that leading position. Alan Dobbs fighting as hard as he could. Now going to fall back to second, and Anthony Navarro, the man who had that lead all night long, is back where it all began to chase him down, and he'll have to put it to work once more. How about this for the man who's been leading all night through the 27, gets knocked off there, and now with 15 laps to go, that could be it. He'll have to drive harder than hell to get anything done now, but I don't know if he's got the pace. He's faster than Dobbs, but is he faster than Matthew Thunderst? It remains to be seen. The battle switched up, and now Anthony Navarro with 14 laps to do it is in major trouble. How about this? Alan Dobbs still holds on in second. Thunderst is your leader. We come down to the Baker's Dozen Next Level Racing. High quality sim racing performance products since 2009. Our final promotion tonight will be here and now, as it looks like the man in that number 8 has been able to run away for the first time all night long. What a way it's been. We'll be right back on FTN. and only 10 laps to go, this will be the outcome that nobody predicted. Matthew Thunderous, your regular season points leader, is currently the man out in front, and DeBarro is nowhere to be seen. The man in that number 27 is still there in third, but right now he is not quick enough to make back those positions. He would need a last-second yellow flag with now the single digits in mind. Next lap through, it is undeniable that Matthew Thunderous put himself in the perfect position to benefit. Take a quick look back to how it all went down, and you can see Thunderous was there in the third position. We'll take it to a close-up drone shot and find out just what happened. And now, DeBarro goes a bit wide there. He is pushing as hard as he can for the lead. Thunderous was watching it, laying back, and now taking it inside the cockpit. This is what would have been seen inside the 8 machine. Dobbs drifts up high, DeBarro goes as hard as he can, and two drivers with absolutely no give the number 8 an opportunity to get right by, and that he does. You can see that Thunderous hardly got it through and hardly clear, but that is the margin that mattered, and now he has 2 seconds on the field. How about this as Brandon Bernhardt goes by? The battle for second, it is back on between DeBarro and Alan Dobbs, the same drivers just for a different position. Braxton Weiss gets up to 12th. He's now fighting big with Jacob Fife and Cody Smith, but the leaders could be a bit dicier. Then it's going to be Jacob Fife in 11th, Cody Smith there in 10th, Chad Cole going to be in position number 9. Here's Brad Patton's right there in 8th. Every driver getting into their final spots. They are assorting themselves quite nicely. But now it's going to be Dobbs and DeBarro fighting once again for a spot. And DeBarro in the 27. He is wasting no time to push it to the limit. And that time through he does clear. But this will not be for the lead. It is bittersweet to get that spot, even if he does not have it for sure. Dobbs out of the inside line. Tries to dive it deep. No use that time through. And while Dobbs might have it edge over Dinsmore, I'm not sure if it is going to be enough. He's only up by about 18 spots, or now down to 15 spots, as he is not your race leader on the number 18 machine in position. The 95 of Dinsmore has 6 more laps to do it. Drivers are beginning to wind down, and this race has been non-stop action. Thunderous goes up high once again. He'll be able to easily get by Trevor Drago, who has some damage on it, and he'll take down with now 5 laps to go to get it done here in the Ignite the Excitement 150. That's going to be Brian McFerrin coming down pit road this time by. It is going to be a strategic call that has concluded just a bit early, and McFerrin makes it in, and it looks like he'll fall down outside the top 10, perhaps outside the top 15. A great run for him all night long, but it will not come to fruition the way that he wanted. And with that being said, 4 laps to do it here for the man in that number 8 machine. The battles, they are still heating up here. It looks like it's going to be DJ Stagner on his lonesome. Pressy, though, now side by side with Ford Smith. And the 24 does have the edge here. This is going to be for 13th of anything. But DJ Stagner there in 12th would like to have a word. Of course, you want to hold on to the spot, but a battle could brew inside the top dozen for the first time since the leading battle concluded. Right now, 3 laps to do for your man out in front. 148 laps deep, and these guys, they are all pushing toward that checkered flag now. The Jets are still on. McFerrin falls down at the 21st. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to get out of that, as right now Alan Dobbs still stretching, as every driver is. It could be a fuel mileage game here, as Thunderous takes it down to make it 2 laps to go here in Iowa, and he looks to be able to punch his ticket not only as a driver in the Clash 16 driver round, but as the man who gets it done with the regular season title. Chad Cole get it right there in that number 17. Cody Smith there in the 18, and they're fighting hard. As a matter of fact, that's Brad Patton. Smith not in frame anymore, and the battle for 7, it is heating up at the end of the line. It's going to be the final lap here for the driver in the number 8 machine, Matthew Thunderous, looking to get it done as he comes through the backstretch this time by. Might just be able to conclude it without fireworks. What a race that was, and the final race for any driver to get a chance at the championship. One driver locks himself in as a top speed. It's going to be the top seed indeed. Matthew Thunderous winning from Iowa in the Ignite the Excitement 150, and he will come home as your regular season champion with another dominating performance, this time by in the Iowa Speedway. And Thunderous gets it done when it all matters the most. The 8 machine deals his fate as a race winner and as a championship contender. And before we get your rewind to that, of course, incredible burnout we hope to see and the interviews, let's get your race results on the board. What a way to do it as Thunors comes down to the stripe immediately. A great race there for every driver as Matthew Thunors wins from Anthony Barrows. 4 seconds up on the man who had that race dominated all night long with Alan Dobbs there in third. It's going to be Alec Davin fourth, Cody Griffin in fifth, Nick Tarbuck, position number 6 from pole position, 11 seconds down. Brad Patton holds on for 7th. Chad Cole going to be 8th spot in that number 17, 12 seconds back with Cody Smith in 9th, 14 seconds off. Braxton Louise comes home with a silent top 10, a great run for him, 16 seconds adrift. It's going to be Jacob Fife holding on for that 11th spot. Then it's going to be Thomas Bresci in 12th, top dozen, as DJ Stagger completes the Baker's dozen there in 13th. Gael Brooks going to be in 14th as Chris Cabot on debut finishes 15th. A solid mid-pack run as Rob Ackley rounds out your men on the lead lap. Joe Dinsmore, first man lap down in 17th, looks to be able to punch his ticket into the round of 16. Travis McQuistion in 18th. Boomer Logan there in 19th with Kyle Cooper in position number 20. It's going to be Brian McFerrin 21st, Jonathan Gearman 22nd, Brandon Bernard 23rd, Forrest Smith 24th, Trevor Trago 2 laps down in 25th, and the retirees go as follows. Don Stevenson 26th, Al Falarski in 27th, and Brandon Wenchard in 28th. No cautions, all strategy, but only one man can come out the winner at the end of the day, and it is this man. Give it up for Matthew Thunors as he gets it done from Iowa in the Ignite the Excitement 150. As we get our interview set up, we'll have your burnout on screen uninterrupted. And Thunors preparing to get the celebration on. The driver of that number 8 driving it down around. It looks like on pace for a Polish victory lap, if anything, as he comes down to the Geico restart zone and peels it in. The entry almost a pit road to go back once again. And every celebration live on FTN. What a race it was. Number 10 is now the burnout appears to stop then there on the front stretch. It will be Thunors parking it, and the number 8 marks it as his territory. Iowa Speedway in a caution-free race all night long will be his. Matthew Thunors gets it done, and he was able to sneak through in the battle for the lead all night long up there, but you proved to be the one that was able to clutch it up when the time was right. How about this win here from Iowa and the number 8 camp?
Yeah, David, it feels good because I definitely didn't have the straight up pace versus Alec or Anthony there, and so I started. Because when I did the fuel mileage, it looked like we were going to be just short, like we could do about 70-ish laps. And then I saw some of the guys stretch the fuel to 75, and I thought they maybe had to take too much off. And so there at the end, they were running, and we ended up catching up to Alan there at the same time I caught up to Anthony. And I was just trying to do that overcut strategy because I saw how much it gained me when I stayed out like 3 extra laps versus Anthony. And then I didn't lose as much time as I thought. And then I was able to make that up to him, and just extending that overcut even farther gave me a nice advantage. And it was one of those things that after the contact that he and Alan had, I mean, I don't think it was anything malicious there. It just looked like Alan got tight, and that's one of the products of this track where it's just, I almost did it to Anthony earlier, where you just get so tight and you just want the car to cut, and that right front's just like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that, so whatever, driver. And the next thing you know, you're in trouble. So, but just to see after that incident, I was still able to pull away and have the speed. I mean, it might have robbed the fans a little bit of the battle between me and him, but, it's one of those things that I'm not sure if I had enough to get around him, but it's one of those that, still a good race overall, and just, I'm not going to complain about getting the checkered flag and finally getting back to victory lane.
And how about that back in victory lane of a race that was, of course, dependent on strategy? Tires were the name of the game. Some drivers going for a one-stop show and some going for two. You were of the latter there, going in just about every 50 laps, just give or take there. It was a bit shorter run this time through, so what really made it evident to you that you had to come down when you did?
Well, it's just with how hard I was running, I only looked like I could get about 71, 72 and not take anything off. And, kind of seeing how Alan did. I mean, I think he was up there in pit, yeah, because I think he started top five with me as well. And so I think the strategies could equalize. It was just, how well you could pull it off. And, I think it was that little bit of an edge on, we didn't have to save so much to try to make up that 3 laps, to make it 75 laps. And so I think that was an advantage for us, is that you weren't on the back pedal or having to kind of restrain yourself, or however you want to kind of put it, to keep it to make the fuel. And so we could just go all out, and it's just more trying to work hard to keep the tires on it. And I think that's kind of what gave us the edge with the two-stop strategy. But it was just one of those things that, just kind of seeing how this grid broke down. I mean, either strategy was really viable tonight. It was just you had to perform with it, and that was just the small difference at the end of it. I mean, to be honest, I can't believe we just went 150 green flag laps here. That was impressive, and it was really cool to get to see all the strategies play out like that.
And tonight, the small difference was clear, able to capitalize, and at the end of the day, not only the winner of this race, but I believe coming home as the regular season champion before the Clash. Now, the Clash going to be on its way for the final 5 races of this leg of the tour. So what's it going to take for you to come out on top of the most important races this season?
Well, it kind of depends just how well I can perform at the tracks. I mean, I'm not sure how well I'll do at Chicagoland. I mean, I'll have to work at it, but I kind of look at what the schedule we've had so far, and if you take the super speedways out, I feel really good where we've been, and it's just more like Pocono. I don't feel bad about Charlotte, but it's like at that point you got to make it to the final 8, and so it's just at this point I got a couple extra bonus points to get some padding going into the playoffs, and so it's just going to try to avoid the trouble, do decently, and just try to make sure I get through to the next round, and that's really just the goal here. And just make sure my bad tracks are still good results, and when I have an opportunity to do like what I did at tonight, to where an opportunity opens up, I got to strike and make sure I can just make it to have a shot at the end of this thing.
And at the end of this thing, you might have a shot, of course, coming in at the top seed, and having a shot at the end here at Iowa is all that matters to ignite the excitement. 150 now winning here in Iowa. Any final thoughts, and anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I just want to thank you, David, and everybody else behind Fireball Talks for help putting this on. Everybody at the Ignite series, or just Integrity in general. I mean, they put a lot of good work into this, and it's a lot of fun to do this, and just all the sponsors we have, like Chance 3, CJ Auto 27, SNG Graphics, y'all at Fireball Talks, Big Eagle Designs, and 10 Questions with Boomer. So I made sure to finally get through that list for once. I've been rather bad in forgetting about that, but just thanks to all those folks for helping coming on and pay some of the bills for the league. And thanks to everybody that watched, and hope they enjoyed, and hope to see them back when the stakes are going to be a lot higher next Monday.
Absolutely high stakes racing after a great run at Iowa here from Matthew Thomas, winning in the Ignite the Excitement 150 once more. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
And there we have it, going to be the driver of that number 8 machine on his way. Now we'll get Anthony DeBarro in just a moment. The driver ends up finishing in second, and what a race it was for him, dragging him up at the moment. Second place on the night. Anthony DeBarro, how you feel after this one?
Good. It was a great run. I'm just what a race. I mean, from start to finish, green flag. That's awesome. I mean, I would have bet against that. I think I would have bet a lot of money against that at Iowa, because Iowa's usually is a lot caution fest. I even said to the guys, I was like, I don't think I ever pitted here under green, and we did it twice.
And undeniably a major strategy race here at Iowa. 2 stoppers versus 1 stoppers. That was the name of the game. So what had you led on to go as the first of the 1 stoppers very early into this race? Or rather, the first of the 2 stoppers, my apologies, as you battled against the best of the 1 stoppers.
Well, once I figured out I could only make it like 68 laps because I was using so much gas out front. So I can never save fuel. I mean, it's just, I think a lot of my driving style, I 2-foot it, and I use a lot of throttle. So I think that's why I can't even come close. So once I figured that out, I said, you know what, I'm leading. I was kind of pulling away a little bit on that first run, and I figured half the field would follow me as soon as I pitted, and which happened. And I think I don't know what happened. The 05, it was hard racing there. Stuff happens, but I think I might have been able to hold off Matthew and just pinned him down and maybe stole that one, but he figured out the long run stuff on that after that first run, and he really was giving me a challenge there.
And a major challenge all night long. It looked like a 3-car battle at the end. So how'd it go down between you, Matthew, and Alan?
It was just hard racing. It's super tough to pass, and you almost I think the Sims getting to a point where when I get behind a car, they don't drive as good. I mean, they're almost implementing the dirty air. It seems like getting better with it to how it is in real life, and so I noticed that when I got to lappers, I was just losing time, and the car would just lose the handle, and then once I got the clean air and I was able to set some good laps. So I mean, it was just just the overall time, setting those laps, lap after lap, being consistent was the key there, especially trying to make up time on Allen there. I mean, he did a phenomenal job, even finishing that close to lead on that strategy. That was really good.
And a great run nonetheless. It was a great battle to watch. You were able to come home here in second. Now the clash coming up for the final 5 races of the season to get this season, of course, this leg of the tour over until the next after our summer break. What's going to take for you to capitalize on these final 5 weeks of action on the nights?
Well, I will say I missed quite a bit of races due to vacation, work, stuff like that. So I'm not really going to be involved with the playoffs, but hopefully we could reel off some wins and just be respectful to the guys that are in the championship hunt there, and let's see them go battle at it. But definitely going to try to stink up the show for sure.
And looking for that victory this season, yet another great run to add some momentum. Second night here in Iowa. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the guys working on my strategy, Gael, Chad Cole. They were in the race, but they were in my ear telling me what that was a good strategy. And I have to say, I have to do a shout out to my fuel man, Hondo Longmire. He is his slogan is "Fill Me Daddy" on pit road. So check him out on Twitter.
And there we have it, Anthony DeBarro, second on the night here in the Ignite the Excitement 150. Thank you for your time. There we have it. It's going to be DeBarro on his way, and the final man on the podium, Alan Dobbs in third tonight, running a much different strategy for most drivers up in front, but nonetheless the only driver to be able to stick it out inside the top 10. How do you feel after this one?
That was a lot of fun. I think that's the first green flag race we've had, and I'm kind of glad for it because, I mean, I could have used a caution there in the last 15, 20 laps, give me a chance to win, but to be the only driver to pull off the one stop, pretty good in my opinion.
And a much different strategy for most drivers there. The one stop was the way to go. So how'd you make that work? Because it was certainly a major effort when it came to saving fuel.
Yeah, I had to save 5 laps of fuel, which is only about a gallon, but it's really hard to save here. There's not a lot of opportunity for it. So I had to spend some time clutching and lifting really early and feathering it back to full on the straightaway, just, doing everything I can, because I think I finished with about 0.2 gallons left when I pit and at the end. So it was really close.
And what about that? Not only a battle with the strategy, but a battle with some of the best in the business here. A great race up in the front of the field between you, Anthony, and Matthew at the end of the day. So how do you feel after that one, working your way through to the front of the field and eventually fighting with those on the 2-stop strategy?
Yeah, I hate about me and Anthony getting into one there. I got a little tight, hit the bump, and couldn't make the bottom. Kind of net coated him and took him out of position to be able to battle Matthew for the win. So when he got back to me, I just let him go on by because I'd already messed him up enough. And I really felt bad about that because I wasn't really part of their battle. I was just in the way, but they should have had a much better one.
And how about that? Well, nonetheless, able to involve yourself in the battle at the end of the day. Now, the Clash going to be up next. Are you going to expect to involve yourself in the winning battle, no matter how the point standings are?
I mean, I'm going to be there, and if I'm on the track, I want to win. So if we're not in the playoffs, then maybe I can spoil one. But I did everything I could tonight to make up all the points to make it in. So we just got to see how it falls, and hopefully I made the right calls.
And there we have it. Well, making the right calls to get on the podium tonight here in Iowa. Any final thoughts and anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, just shout out to my sponsors, Nightfall Graphics and Elite Performance Industries. And shout out to you for the broadcast. We appreciate it, and always look forward to going back and watching it. And thanks to all the admins at Integrity and all the drivers that come out and put on a good show.
And there we have it, the final man on the podium here in the Ignite the Excitement 150, Alan Dobbs. Thank you, of course, for involving yourself in the exciting show, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, buddy.
And there we have it, Dobbs, the final man on the podium, as it will be Matthew Thunders who gets it done here in Iowa. And that will be it for tonight's presentation. The next race we'll have live will be tomorrow night at Bristol Dirt, and a great race we expect to see there. So thank you all for watching tonight. I've been David Kreutz, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation as we sign out on the night. Matthew Thunders gets it done in round number 10 of the Integrity Ignite Series. Thank you all for watching, and we hope that you have a great night. Thank you for spending your Monday night here live on FTN.